So we're getting a lot of analogous colors in the blues and greens. Oh, I like this, man. A little conflict in the trailer, a little story. A duel, no less. Oh, this is amazing. Continuing our Wuthering Waves series with Jiyan Resonator Showcase. If you enjoy our time together, watch more. Wuthering Waves Lore Masters. Join me. Let's do this. Ooh. Okay, really nice atmosphere here on the opening. Really nice. You hear that? We're getting naturalistic sound design with the water. Feels like we're underwater.
Every soul harbors obsessions.
Really nice. Really set the mood there.
Obsessions to be cut when you get in the way. In the name of Qinglong, return to the beyond!
So we're getting a lot of analogous colors in the blues and greens. And there's this calligraphy feeling with the character, which gives me a sophistication. Sort of cultured feeling. The way he fights even.
It's over.
The choreography. It's almost mythic. It's almost legendary. Wow, and then the rain droplets falling upward. Beautiful, really like surreal feeling. Almost as if time has stopped here. I love this macro lens use for the rain droplets. Now we have purple.
Doctor, you failed to rescue. As warrior, you failed to defend.
Oh, good character interaction here. We're gonna get a new character.
Ask yourself this, General Jiyan. Do you truly deserve?
Oh, I like this, man. A little conflict in the trailer, a little story. A duel, no less. Oh, this is amazing.
How will you answer their dying pleas?
Yes, we're getting a character conflict to showcase Jiyan.
Do you have an end for this eternal carnage?
And yes, we're getting vocal work, getting lines. Look at the color use. That's something that happened to him in his past, isn't it? Wow.
You and I are no different.
Really beautiful.
Two desperate souls, doomed to be forsaken.
Oh, this is great. A lot of variety here.
No retreat! It's fight or die!
Wow. This is what I'm talking about, man. It feels like a real episode of an anime.
You should learn to give up.
Fantastic. Wow.
General Geshu, I was never forsaken.
He's remembering now the good time when people trusted him. The music still feels like those water droplets building up, and the dragon is coming.
In the darkest of nights, my path remains true!
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Just absolute ferocity. And now we're getting that classic character demo feel as he fights through. Well, we got that build-up. We got that character. That backstory a little bit. The drama, and it's a bit longer, so we're able to afford that time. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. We're going to break all this down. Choreography is fantastic. Nice shallow depth of field there. And the sunrise breaks through the rain.
Reinforcements!
It's fantastic.
Rain has stopped. Rangers, follow my lead.
Wow, what an image. Very, very well done, guys. Yeah, I really like that they gave it more time, man. This one is about 4 minutes, which I think is as long or longer than any of the Genshin, you know, like 5-star longer ones we've had. Gave a little bit of extra time there to be able to give some backstory to the characters, get some fleshed out flashbacks, fighting another character with lots of dialogue and drama and everything. I'm all for this. Obviously, it takes a lot more work, but it's like watching an episode of anime. This is fantastic. So let's talk about it. There's so much to break down because it's a bit longer. So let's do a deep dive here. Let's do a deep analysis. Wuthering Waves Lore Masters. Please give me a hand if you know about this backstory, if you know about this character. I'm going to be asking some questions. I think there's a lot to be learned from the character from this. So it's going to be really fun. If you enjoyed our time, like I said, make sure to subscribe, hop in our Discord if you want to talk Hoyoverse and other games. And if you want to choose a video for me to react to, hit that join button, become a Dragoon member. All right, let's do this. So I like that the video starts a little slow, gives us a couple breaths here. And if you listen, you hear that? Very subtle, but you get this sound design. It's almost like water droplets. It's really cool.
Every soul harbors obsessions.
And then again, the sound design of these kind of like water beings appearing. I don't know if these enemies, again, are they water elementals? Is it just like an animation when they come up? But it matches the rain in a really cool way. Again, we talked about color theory a little bit. In the beginning here, we have almost exclusively blues and greens. There's a little bit of purple in the enemies there, but later we get this like explosion of purple when the other enemy shows up, and we get eventually this beautiful complementary sunrise at the end, right? Which is really cool because then you're kind of trained to see these blues and greens.
Sessions to be cut when they get in the way. In the name of Qinglong, return.
Really cool transition into the character artwork here for that live 2D sort of VTuber style image that they've done. It's interesting, you know, when we look at sort of Genshin Impact, which borrowed heavily from a lot of different games, sort of art style and gameplay. And now we have this, which is borrowing heavily sort of with the culture that Genshin created with the character demos, which as far as I'm familiar, I suppose Genshin, or by extension of that, Honkai 3rd would have been the first to do these character. I actually don't know. You guys tell me. Was Genshin and Honkai the first to do like these kind of character demos in this format, where we get an intro, we get the character art, we see their combos and stuff? Who was the first person to do that? I'm actually really curious now. I'm just assuming it was Hoyoverse, but I could be wrong. It could be like other gacha games that started it. But anyway, it's really cool in this culture to see the evolution of it.
To the beyond!
Oh, he's like using creative ways to make that transition. It's really fun. So now, I'm gonna lower the music just a little bit. We get this calligraphy, which I thought was a really cool effect. You can see it almost looks like a brushstroke as he attacks, which is cool in a couple different ways. For me, automatically feels sophisticated, feels mythic, feels legendary, feels like something from antiquity, very cultured, but it also is kind of voicing like this is a story that's being told. You know, it's like we're looking at some ancient scroll with calligraphy, which is really fun. So it gives a little bit of weight to the story. I really like that. And that's just a super cool effect. Let's kind of look at this a little bit closer. If we look at the frame by frame, he's like appearing in multiple versions of himself if we go frame by frame, which I think is very cool. Yeah. Each time we go through a loop and he's in different positions. I do like the cutaways here, and I will say, man, is this in-game graphics? I think it is. Some of the tightest up close character portraits and expressions in engine so far that I've seen. Very, very well done. Like this almost looks like a drawing is what I mean to say. Very good. And it could be, but I'm not familiar enough with the Wuthering Waves in engine stuff. I've never played the game. Let me know if you guys would be interested in me doing a Wuthering Waves stream, trying it out. We've played Genshin in the past. We definitely want to play Star Rail at some point too. Let me know. I've heard Wuthering Waves has a lot of like conversation around it though. That's varied, like all over the place. I'm not really sure. You guys tell me. Really nice shots here. I like how it's actually kind of reminded me of Berserk manga. Not the 2016 anime, that's for sure. The manga, maybe the 97, where you never really see Guts go. You just see the cut's done. He's already cut, and you see like this massive, you know, image of where he cut. You see the damage that was done. It's like so fast. Really cool effect there. If you look when he cuts down here, boom, right? It's like so fast, and then you see almost like a manga panel right there. Like if you saw this as a manga panel, you know exactly what happens. You do not need to see the cut. And why is that? Well, it's voiced really well, right? You have the dust here, like it was so forceful. You have an amazing kinetic pose. You have this right here, like this kind of damage, and you have the enemies flying away. Perfect manga panel, right? So this, to me, says good storyboarding, which is essentially what a manga is, right? It's literally a manuscript storyboard. So let's keep going. Curious what that is, Lore Masters. Maybe this is a symbol. It's on his back too. Maybe it's a symbol of his order. Maybe it's a symbol of his powers. Could be like a... and like, this is what I like about this. So this is a really good frame. Again, I mentioned storyboarding and manga panel. I would be very surprised if this was not storyboarded, expertly done. because this is just a beautiful image, right? Look at this. Right there, man. We just have beautiful composition. Let me explain. Leading lines, guys. Leading lines of this dragon makes this beautiful S shape up into just the rightmost side of the right third of the image, and following the rule of thirds. Beautiful. And it just crests to kind of make this circle right around the subject, and then of course the spear leading up to the subject's face. It's very well done. This is great composition. The colors are popping. It's beautiful. Yeah, gorgeous work. And he's just all over the place with his fighting style. Very quick. I will say I really like this shot. This shot stood out to me a lot. I love this type of shot. I've used it in a couple of my pieces. Pull back from the action, man. Pull back from the action for a couple of reasons. Number one, it gives a sense of space. Number two, it gives a sense of scale, you know, of what's going on, how big the battle was. Look at all the swords in the ground. It tells you he's defeated a lot of enemies. And also, it gives the audience a little breath, a little respite. And I think it's beautiful. The image is just, again, very well done composition. This part is very surreal. And the water droplets come up like this. I really liked it. And this is what I mean by having a longer demo. Like, we just took 10, 15 seconds for a beautiful transition here. No dialogue.
Doctor,
and then we get this guy's intro and you see the purple start to come. So they give this guy even time. He didn't just like appear, hey, what's up? Give this time to say, okay, something's changing here. The mood is changing. The colors have changed. Ah, it's a new character. So I'm really curious. Again, it's a very new game. Do you guys even know who this guy is? Is this another character that you can pull? Is this a villain in the story? Really interested in this guy.
To rescue.
Because it would appear that this guy's not like an evil person. Probably someone who's just on a different side as Jiyan.
Fail to defend.
Cool outfit.
Ask yourself this, General Jiyan.
I like the general. It's like, you know, you're not worthy of that title. Oh, there you go. Yeah, next line.
Your title.
Yeah, lots of fun here. I like this choreography. This is actually a one-shot, which is where there's not a cut made to it, and it's very impressive. Again, this would be a shot that's incredibly difficult to film in real life, if not impossible at this speed. It could be done, could be sped up, but whew, look at this. We sweep down from above. Get this beautiful clash, and then we actually circle back around the subject. But it's not just the camera going, we're actually changing focal length and aperture as we do it, which is just, it's very advanced. But to put it very simply, you'll notice how the shallow depth of field changes. And now this character's, we've rack focused from this character to this character, from the confrontational side shot to this over the shoulder in the fight. So it has a very almost dialogue feel to it, which is appropriate because they're talking. Still one shot. Still one shot. Very impressive. And then he backflips, and we use the spear as kind of like a push for the camera. It goes over there. We come back. Exceptional.
How will you answer their time?
And then again, I quite like that shot. You don't see this typically in a lot of these character demos from other stuff. Look at this beautiful, beautiful shot. We have elements in the foreground, which you don't see a lot in these trailers. Elements in the foreground just creates an interesting image. We have like wind effects, I think, happening at the same time as they strike. We do have a dolly move as well across the battlefield at this low angle, the horizon. A little bit of an axis shift on the camera, so the horizon just cuts upward like that. A little bit of drama. Amazing.
Answer their time, please.
Oh, I really like that where he swiped behind him. That was a glorious little piece here. Let's look at it. I think we just before this. Let's go. So we're here. He strikes. And then he spins around him, and then we have this really nice choreography. Yeah. Really nice choreography. And again, like it's one, I'll put it to you like this. The reason I keep harping on the choreo here is because it's one thing to have just combos happening to like NPC character, like you know, just like randomly spawned enemies in the game, right? That's one thing, and that's awesome in its own right. But to have a coherent choreography where two swords are clashing, it actually makes sense. Okay, he defended that strike with an actual proper guard stance. Okay, and he dropped it, guard position here, boom. Parry. Okay, that's a whole different thing, man. That's a whole different thing. It's one thing to just go like, oh, big slice, and then a bunch of enemies fly away. This is a whole different game right here. Again, back to storyboarding, planning has to make sense. Martial art. There's a much more martial aspect to it when there's two combatants that are actually defending against each other's strikes. and make it believable, make it sort of have a drama, a danger. And this is intense. This is a good fight.
Look, do you have an end for this eternal carnage?
Look at that. And we have a really cool transition here. It's quite fast, but check this out. So we do a match cut from behind him, sort of like mask wipe, as we'd say. And look at that. Transitions to this shot, and then we go back in time to a memory. Save me. Help. And he, I assume, was not able, and then we come back out of the eye. Like, what a great transition. Like, let's look at that one more time.
For this eternal carnage.
Look at that transition. It's beautifully done. And then we come back out of that incredible transition, right back into the fight. And we get this Kingdom Hearts section here. This is just fantastic.
Two desperate souls, doomed to be forsaken.
Okay, so again, from gleaning what I can about the characters, two souls, doomed to be forsaken, is talking about the two guys, somehow connected, feel betrayed, perhaps. Love it. Love it. It's fantastic. Maybe they fought on the same side, maybe they didn't. Is that him? I think that's young him. Now, I love the music here. It's almost like overwhelming. It feels like all the different memories raining down on him and coming into his mind. You hear that? Almost too much. So cool, man.
No, General Geshu. I was never forsaken.
Love it. And that's it. That's his sort of self-absolution from whatever kind of negativity he was feeling. That's his reason to go on, you know? The music is just building up until...
Through the darkest of nights, my path remains true!
Awesome. And this shot I wanted to talk about. I mean, look at that. That is just such an awesome shot. And you go from this guy who seems like he could be kind of matched in a fight to you realizing, oh, he's a much more overwhelming power. And that's a cool shot to express that. Again, the storyboard right there. That's the keyframe, as we say in animation, right? So cool. And then we finally, at over 3 minutes into the trailer, this is why I think it's kind of significant, get the sort of traditional, okay, this is how the guy fights. It looks like I'm playing the game now. A little bit more, see? Yeah. Yeah. Totally different feel. It's like we've gone away from even the lensing that was used before to finally be like, oh yeah, if you're playing the game, here's a little showcase. And I like that. I like that. You guys know I'm into film, obviously, so, you know. Let's get more story, man. Let's do it. I love that shot too. Again, I'm assuming this sort of symbology here is something to do with his order. Obviously, shows the dragon. Yeah, let me know if that's anything more significant than that, but it's just a cool image. Yeah, and again, we had some interesting stuff happening here. So we not only had an aspect ratio shift, but I think something really fun happens here if you're eagle-eyed. Check this out, guys. We're gonna go frame by frame here. Look at that. So the dragon, watch the bottom of the screen. The dragon is actually passing through the black bar down here. Did you catch that? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I do wonder if they shifted it just to do that. That's pretty cool. We've widened out the frame. And then it's back, just like that. So I feel like that was just a really cool effect I wanted to show off. Love it. Boom. And then they go back to water. Like they started as water, they go back to water. Is that just Wuthering Waves visual language for all enemies? Yeah, I love it. And like I said, it clears away at the end. The original colors complementary to the blue, those deep, deep blues, is this beautiful orange sunrise.
The rain has stopped.
Great shot.
Rangers, follow my lead.
That was really nice. Sort of final moment for the character being this this expression. You know?
Rain.
It's kind of like he's feeling good about whatever he was struggling with, man. It almost maybe it was an inner battle, you know, that he was struggling with the past this person
Stop.
that he couldn't save, perhaps. Maybe the character's already passed away. Like, let me know, lore masters. I'm actually curious about that.
Rangers, follow my lead.
But yeah, very, very cool stuff. Landscape, obviously showcasing it's a big, wide world. You get to explore it. You get to have fun in it. Come play Wuthering Waves, you know? So it's a cool sort of invite to the game. Like I said, I myself have not played it. So I'm quite curious what this is and if you guys recommend it. Or if you don't recommend it. But it's a really well-made video, I can tell you that. Yeah, I love that it's a little bit longer. As you guys know, I sometimes lament when the character demos are like a minute and 20 seconds. I'm like, man, this is just getting a taste, and then it's over. So I really like this being about 4 minutes. And it's 4 minutes. There's not even a title card that lasts 10 seconds. It's just like right into it. So very awesome. A quite cool character, I will say. And I'm super interested to see where this goes. Again, sort of this evolution of the culture of like character demos and games only on YouTube, which is like a very new thing only in the past few years. Again, I could be wrong on that. When did that originate? I don't know. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much for joining me for my analysis and watching with me. If you enjoyed our time, make sure to sub here on YouTube. Pop into our Discord to join the conversation if you feel like talking about your favorite games. And yeah, click join if you want to choose a video for me to react to. I'll see you guys around town.